Honda Dio was the stylish scooter from Honda that made a mark in the sporty design scooter segment for Honda. From its initial look, it did undergo some major changes, and coming to the present in 2020, we have the latest iteration of the Dio, which is the Dio BS-6. But right now, there is also the Grazia, which is like the bigger brother to the Dio, and the Grazia also got updated to its BS6 version, which is the Grazia BS6. So at present, since we have these two scooters in their latest version, which is the better of the two will be a doubt, and finally, which one should you buy is a big question too. Well, this video is to help you with that. It's the comparison of the Honda Grazia BS6 and the Honda Dio BS6. Now for all our comparison videos, we do have 5 factors which will cover every aspect of the scooters, and here also we are going to follow these 5 factors, but I'm going to shuffle stuff here and I'm going to start with the pricing. And the reason I'm doing this is because the price gap is really significant for these two scooters, and here as you can see the Dio is the cheaper of the two, and that too is by a big margin. So based on pricing, if your budget matches with that of the Dio, the comparison is done for you and you should know which one you should be buying, right? Well, that's not entirely true because we still have all the important stuff untouched. But still, this price cap is a big advantage for the Dio, and also if you're in Kollam, Kerala and you want to know the on-road pricing of any of the two scooters, you can contact the number shown here. So now that we have an idea about the pricing of these two scooters, let's check the specifications. This is again a major difference area because the Dio is a 109.51cc scooter while the Grazia is a 124cc scooter. Now both have FI engines and both are of BS6 standard, but since there is a healthy engine capacity difference, the max power and torque generated is higher from the Grazia's engine. And also the Grazia is a bigger scooter in terms of the body dimensions, and the Grazia is even the heavier one, which again is something that's expected. But then the ground clearance is better with the Grazia at 171 mm, while the Dio's is at 160 mm. But about the fuel tank capacity, it's 5.3 liters in both the scooters. Well, even though till now there has been differences with the specifications, the next one for some reason is an identical spec, and that is the tire measurement. Both the front and rear tire have the same dimension in both the Grazia and the Dio, but here also there is one change, which is the Grazia actually gets an alloy wheel option with the disc variant, while the Dio doesn't get such an option, and in fact the Dio doesn't have a disc variant too. The Dio just has one brake option, which is the 130mm drum in both the front and rear, while the Grazia has two options in which the front can be 190mm disc or 130mm drum, while the rear is 130mm drum. And in both these scooters, you get CBS or combi braking system. And finally about the suspension, well, both the scooters get telescopic front suspension and a 3-step adjustable spring-loaded hydraulic rear one. So these specs are actually interesting, and from the spec sheet, one thing that's pretty evident is that the pricier scooter, which is the Grazia, does have much better spec, at least on paper, and we surely need to find out whether it reflects on road too. And for that, let's move to the next factor, which is the ride quality and comfort. We'll start with the Dio, and here this new BS6 Dio is a joy to ride scooter. The engine has silent start feature along with Honda's ESP technology, which gives a better performance ride than what we used to get with the old versions of the Dio. And here because of these improvements, the ride was actually comfortable for a speed range from 0 to 75 km/h. There was no vibration from any body parts, nor did the engine show any signs of stress. But here, even though there is performance improvements compared to the previous versions of the Dio, it's not like the Dio is now a very agile scooter. The acceleration chart still leans towards a linear climb, but then since the Dio is a compact and lightweight scooter, city overtakes and squeezes through congestion is easy with the Dio. Now that's basically the Dio's main advantage. So it's like a scooter that is well designed for city commuter use. And now coming to the Grazia BS-6, well, to put it simple, the experience is like Dio in hyper mode. Here also you get the same silent start feature and the enhanced smart technology, and those all contribute to a much more exciting ride than what we get from the Dio. I totally love the ride experience. With the Grazia, the acceleration chart does show slight aggression, and hence you can feel that quicker speed gain. And since the performance has been enhanced in this new BS6 engine, the ride quality was perfectly smooth and refined for a speed range from 0 to 85 km/h. And even in that top speed range, the engine wasn't showing much signs of stress. Yet this quicker speed gain should obviously be because of the better capacity engine and also because of the sharper aerodynamic design. But then where the Dio gets its advantages with the quick flicks. Dio has better ride control than the Grazia, but then it's not like the Grazia is a scooter which is difficult to control. In fact, it's easy to control the Grazia, but then in this comparison, there is no doubt who the winner is in terms of ride control. But when it comes to safety, well, you shouldn't have any doubts here because the safer one is the disc variant of the Grazia. It does stop better at a speed range below the 70 km/h range while applying quick brakes, and with the Dio, the safe braking speed is below the 60 to 65 km/h range. Now that's good while riding in city, but in highway you need that extra safety. And that's also a reason why I did sort the Dio in the city commuter section and the Grazia in the all-purpose ride section. Now there is one more important thing left in this factor, which is the ride comfort, and in that the Grazia does have the upper hand because of the slightly more spacious footboard and also because of the improved seat. Now seat comfort thing is not very drastic, and in fact I do like this new Dio seat and even its footboard area, and actually for me this new BS6 Dio is a very comfortable scooter. And the advantage that the Grazia BS-6 gets is for riders who are taller than me, and as a reference for you, my height is 176 centimeters. Now here the suspension quality actually felt to be almost the same in both these scooters, and hence overall for me, even though both were very comfortable to ride scooters, if I had to pick a winner, well then I'll give the slight upper hand for the Grazia. And also by the way, even through worse riding conditions, the underside of both these scooters were safe, so you don't have to worry about the ground clearance. Well, from this factor, one thing which is very clear is that the spec advantage does reflect here, and here the Grazia is actually a scooter that is suited better for long as well as for short commutes, while the Dio is best suited for city commutes. And I think this factor did give us a better idea about the price cap, and also this one should help you in deciding which one is going to suit well for your needs. But still, we have two more important stuff to check, which are the design and the mileage. And in that, firstly about the design, well, both scooters are sporty looking ones. From the front, even though the core layout has a resemblance, the headlight does show the attitude difference. The Grazia's headlight is much more striking, and with the Grazia in both the variants, the headlight is LED, while with the Dio with the standard variant, the headlight is a halogen bulb, and with the Deluxe variant, the headlight is LED. And here from the two scooters, the best headlight range is from the Grazia. The coverage is long and wide, and its night rides are stress-free. The second spot will go to the Dio's Deluxe variant, and the third to the standard version of the Dio. And in fact, the Dio's headlights coverage is also good enough for pitch dark condition rides. Then both the scooters have the position light in the handle, and they do look very similar, but then the Grazia does elevate that look pretty high with the inclusion of the smoke visor. Then checking the other side of the handle, well, for the switch controls, Dio's both the variants and Grazia's drum variant had the same control with dim bright pass light as a single switch, along with indicator toggle and horn on the left side, and on the right side there is the engine start stop switch. This is a handy control because this works like a self start as well as an engine kill switch. But with the disc variant of the Grazia, things are a bit more interesting in terms of the switch controls available. The left side houses the same controls, but the right side actually has an idle start stop switch as well as a self start switch. The idle start stop system is a great feature and it works all the time. And if you're wondering what it does, well, it's simple. If it's turned on and you take a brief halt in traffic or for something else, the engine automatically cuts off, and then when you're ready to resume the ride, just a twist of the accelerator turns the engine on. This feature is to save fuel, and I do like it. And also another feature which is much more better than this is the side stand engine cutoff feature, and it's by default available in both the variants of the Grazia, but with the Dio, it's an optional choice no matter which variant you're gonna buy. Then checking the instrument console, well, the Dio standard variant gets a fully analog meter, while the Deluxe variant of the Dio gets a fully digital meter. But with the Grazia, both the variants get the digital meter, which has a dual color schematic, but here for the info shown, both the Dios and Grazia's digital meter shows almost the same stuff. Then moving to the side panel, well, both scooters have a sharp looking side panel, but here with the Dio, certain color choices do have the sleek graphics on the side panel, while the Grazia on the other hand doesn't have any graphics on the side panel, but instead all the color options just have this chrome Grazia branding. And now checking the rear section, well, the Grazia, like with the headlight, gets a very sleek looking jet inspired tail light. It's slim and attractive and I do like it. But with the Dio, the taillight looks good, but it's somewhat a familiar design. Then here the pillion grab bar of both these scooters are almost the same, and they are the split type ones. And here on the rear section, another similarity with both these scooters are the external fuel inlet system. It can be opened in both scooters with the help of the new lock system, and here this feature is a very convenient one. And now for the storage options, well, in the footboard side, the Grazia gets a glove box and two hooks, in which this glove box does have a premium feel while opening it. And with the Dio, instead of the glove box, you get a front pocket which can easily take a small water bottle or your phone, and you also get two hooks in the Dio too. But then the footboard spacing felt to be slightly better in the Grazia. And about the underseat spacing, it looked to be almost the same, and for me the good part is that both these scooters' underseat spacing does fit in my large size fully covered helmet. And by the way, if in case you're wondering whether there is any USB charging socket option available, well, both these scooters doesn't offer such a thing. And lastly, with the exhaust, both the scooters have a sporty looking, much more improved style exhaust than their predecessors. So from the design side, they do have certain similarities, but at some core things, the Grazia again does show its higher price advantage. And now to the last factor, which is the mileage. And this is a factor that's completely dominated by the Dio. It's basically an expected thing, and here during our testing, the Dio got a mileage of approximately 58 km per liter, while the Grazia got a mileage of approximately 55 km per liter. Now these tests were conducted under similar conditions, but one thing you should always note is that mileage depends basically on two things, which are the riding pattern and the riding conditions. So for you, the mileage can be different than what we got. Well, I guess that's everything for this in-depth comparison of both these Honda scooters. Here when we started the video, I did opt to check the pricing first because of the big price gap, but then after checking everything, you should be having having a much more clearer picture. The Grazia BS-6 is a great scooter, and if basically what you need is an all-round scooter that can be used for long and short rides, then you should surely be looking at the Grazia. And actually the price difference of the Grazia and the Dio is to an extent justified with the differences they have. But if your use is just for city commutes, then the Dio does have some healthy advantages over the Grazia, and hence in such a situation, the Dio is a better choice. The ultimate decision should happen based on your priority, and if you're very clear about it, then you can finalize the one you want. Because the right choice is pretty much easy, and if you do it in the right manner, then you'll surely get the benefit. That's all for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, a like is much appreciated, and a sub would be great. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.